Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I can breathe. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Welcome to the center. This is a great day to come in. Hey everyone, welcome to the center.
And so good morning. Today's theme is love and protection, something in that order. And before we go into the meditation, I wanted to tell you a story. It's a true story. And those of you who know Carolyn Miss, the author of Medical Intuitive, and as a younger woman, she knew that she had that talent to kind of look into people and find out what was wrong with them so she could talk with Dr. Shirley and they could help that person. So she spent lots of years meditating and getting into her center and her own power. And this is a story of how she used her own power of love to protect herself and another person. So a friend had come to visit her, and they're not far from New York. They decided to go into New York for an event. And they're driving along, and Caroline is just talking away and driving, and pretty soon the friend says, I wonder what's going on here. And Caroline says, oh, you know this neighborhood, they're always celebrating something. And she said, you better look better because this doesn't look like a celebration. So, bumper to bumper, slower traffic, pretty soon they're stopped. And she looks around and she sees men coming down the lanes with bats and they're smashing in the windshields. And she's like, oh no, and she immediately goes into her own power and she says, protect us, protect us. And she waits and waits, and pretty soon she opens her eyes and they've gone right past her car, still smashing in windshields. So today I thought in our meditation, it would be good to build on what we already have, build on our own higher consciousness and love. And so she had given her word to her power of love, and from now on we want to do this as often as possible. So if you're comfortable to close your eyes and relax, take a nice deep breath and let your shoulders just relax and your neck relax. Deeper and deeper. Center yourself and become one with your higher self. Your higher self is that intelligent love. It is you as spirit having a human experience. And as you breathe in that loving intelligence and power. Connect with your higher self. And now, while you are centered, there are some aspects of this spirit which are already downloaded in you. So this is a time to remember. This is a time to know. So firstly, within you is the origin of love. Let that love expand, connect with it even more. Build on what you already have. You are the Alpha and the Omega. Within each of you lives the host who loves all dearly. Feel yourself as the host. The host is love. Within each of you as spirit, love's holiness has been protected and is pure. Can you feel the purity? Can you feel love's holiness? That's who you are. Within each of you is the light that will show you more of what love is. This love from within can allow a new world to be seen, where each can live in love's protection. Like Caroline, let us remember to call on the power of love all the time, having faith in its response. Thank you, God. And as we open our eyes and come back into the room, together we say, and so it is. So if you will allow me to speak from the first person as your voice, I would appreciate it if you close your eyes, if you choose, and join me in this sacred space of God. And so I'm knowing today that there is only one God. That God is present everywhere as love and light and peace and goodness and plenty. God is all and everything and everywhere and everyone, all powerful, all knowing, fully in charge of all that is. I am one with this awesome power, this unconditional love that fills me, that shines through me. It is who I am. It is who each person here is. And so from this place of unity, of oneness, I speak my word, knowing the truth about each one of us, knowing that God as love is always pointing the way back to itself. No matter what the world looks like, what I have to say, or you, or anyone else, nothing is greater than the God. Nothing is greater than the Spirit that flows through, in and through everyone and everything. And so I know today that of whatever circumstance, situation, whatever condition, whatever event shows up in life, granted, I'm not always big enough to understand the whole picture, but I know that God does, and I know that God is in charge. And so it is mine to step back and know this is the truth, and trust that beyond what the appearance is, there is always the goodness, the power, and the presence of that
all-knowing, ever-present goodness. And so I bless this world today. I bless our nation today. I bless this center and everyone in it today, because I know the truth that only good thrives and survives. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for this center. I'm grateful for the ministers. I'm grateful for the ministry of prayer. I'm grateful for everything that takes place in this warm and loving place. It is a place of love. It is a holy space. And I am blessed to be a part of it, as is everyone here. So I speak my word again, knowing that all is well, knowing that the children are blessed, knowing that everything good is taking place in each life, and that as we open to receive our good, it flows freely. And so, with a grateful heart, knowing the truth, filled with faith, I release this word to that divine law, knowing here and now that it is absolutely done as I have spoken. And let us each say, and so it is. Amen, amen, amen.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
And as discussed earlier, the theme for our month is Love as Safety. And the title of our talk today is We Belong to Each Other. We belong to each other. And Dr. Holmes, our founder and the author of the Science of Mind textbook, tells us why we belong to each other. Page 493. And he says this: one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. It would be impossible to make a clearer statement of truth. One life behind all that lives. One, never two. The unity of all life. To learn this is to know a secret of the ages. He goes on to say in another one of his wonderful books, the book entitled Words That Heal Today. And he says this: Jesus told the young man that if he wished to get the most out of living, he would have to follow rules. Doing unto others as we would like them to do unto us. And doing it first. Doing it first. Tolerance and kindness. Understanding and compassion. Sympathy and helpfulness. And forgiving even as we would like to be forgiven. So what happens in life when we do not approach one another with that mindset? What happens when we approach each other with a different mindset? The mindset that says we are not one. I will not be tolerance or kindness or understanding. Look at what you are doing. And I certainly won't be the first to forgive. I'll show you what happens when we approach each other in that way. Sarah from LA is visiting her sister Carla. Carla lives a simple life in Caliente, Nevada. Sarah, and boy, if we didn't pick the right person for this role. Sarah, who has always considered herself more important and much more sophisticated than her sibling, has come for the weekend. Doesn't that sound lovely? The two have never really seen eye to eye, but Sarah's mom has talked her into making the trip and trying to bond with her sibling. On her way to Caliente, Sarah's car is giving her problems. She figures it's because she hasn't had the oil changed in a very long time. So she tells her sibling,
You know, I'll tell you, Carla, I don't know how you can live in this god-awful place, Caliente. It is a pits. Where did you get those? Anyway, I gotta tell you, I have got the most important meeting to go to Monday morning. I have a proposal to give to my boss. Yeah, you can make faces, but I'm going to tell you something. I am going to get such a promotion, and I am going to make more money than you've ever seen. But I have one little glitch. On the way up here, my car wasn't working properly at all, and I think it's just the oil change. I haven't had it done in a while.
Yes, how long has it been? Sarah, how long?
A year or 2 years, I don't keep track of
Years,
years.
2 years. Sure.
Meanwhile, I need to get it done so I can be prepared for this very, very important meeting.
Well, that's easy. We have Jake's Auto right down this road. Oh, we'll just take it right to Jake's Auto.
Well, that's perfect. That's great. Let's do it.
All right.
so the two siblings get to Jake's Auto to find out it's closed due to an emergency and won't be opened again until Monday.
Here we are, Caliente again, right? Okay, there's got to be a Greyhound around here somewhere so I can get a bus back.
We are in Caliente. There are no bus. We don't have a Greyhound bus here in Caliente. I mean, come on.
Well, I've got to do something, Carla. I've got to get there. You know, those earrings really aren't so bad. That's interesting to me. Anyway, I guess what I'm going to have to do, darling, is just take your car.
Oh, no, you don't. What you don't realize is that I have a very important meeting myself on Monday morning. And besides, you totaled my car the last time you used it.
That was a year and a half ago.
I mean, what's the year and a half?
Well, I have to get to California. I mean, this is a very, very important thing that I have to do. I just don't know what to do.
Well, there's only one thing I can think of. You just need to call your boss and tell him what's happened. I mean, it's simple.
He's not very understanding when I call in. I don't know if he's going to understand or not. But I don't know what else to do.
Well, good luck.
So, early Monday morning, Sarah makes a call to her boss in LA.
Hello, Mr. Jarvis? Mr. Jarvis, this is Sarah Keegan. How are you? Yeah, no, I'm not in the building right now. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm calling you. Here I am in Caliente, Nevada. Have you ever been in Caliente, Mr. Jarvis? Well, good for you. Don't go. But that's the reason I'm calling. On my way up to see my sister, my car just gave me this, and now it's not even starting. And no, I'm telling you, I'm not going to make the meeting. I'm in Caliente. I have my proposal ready, and it's wonderful. And you've already seen Gary's proposal? Well, how come? I mean, the meeting's at 9 o'clock. He's more proactive than I am? I doubt that. I've seen his proposal because I saw it on his computer when he was out of the office. What? No, don't talk to me like that. And I don't call in that often. Mr. Jarvis, this is unacceptable. No, no. You're not going to fire me, Mr. Jarvis. I quit. Talk to me? Did you hear that?
No, but I sure hope the way you talk to him. Oh my gosh, Sarah.
Well, now I don't have a job. Well, your mom's going to be thrilled. Because now, honey, you and I can bond because I can live with you for a while.
No way, Sarah, no way. Forget it, no way.
You know, life is supposed to be a bowl of cherries, and all I ever get are the pits.
Well, that's the way it is.
Delightful, ready? Delightful. And the roles were perfect. I'm just saying. So in prayer and meditation and contemplation, these words of wisdom were offered up to me. And it was this: when we tear at each other, when we tear each other apart, when we tear at our minds and we tear at our hearts, we destroy each other. We destroy what binds us together. And it starts to make us smaller and weaker and less powerful. In our skit, Sarah reminds us that anger is always one letter away from danger. In all of that energy, what did Sarah end up with? No job. And Sarah and Clara's relationship more broken than ever before. And that's because we are to remember that an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. And so for a few moments, I would like for you to turn to a neighbor, a partner, find someone, and I would like for you to work collaboratively with them. And I would like for you to ask yourselves this question: could this whole scenario have had a different outcome? Could these two have done something differently to get a different outcome? On your way, do your work.
Number one, well, I'm sure it is, forgiveness and all that, and showing your love. But talking to her boss, that was kind of like, and then she looked at her computer. That's another thing. Shouldn't have done it, but she could have done it. The whole thing could have changed around. Maybe she could have done it. There you go. That's another good one. Yeah.
So let me ask you, as you wrap up, could you see something being done differently? Could you see a different outcome?
Yes.
So is anyone willing to share a different way and a different outcome? I'm coming over there. Tell me what you came up with.
It seems to me that their problem started many, many, many years before. It started at a much earlier age when they learned not to care and not to share. The things that they're dealing with right now are a result of, in my opinion, behaviors that they learned as children. And those behaviors carry on with us right on through adulthood and beyond. I also have to say that the attitudes that they have developed into are a portion of the responsibility of the parents for not monitoring them more closely and not making sure that they learn to love and respect one another and to remember that they are all a part of the same God, the same world. And having lost that understanding, in my opinion, brings them to where they are right now in their relationship.
Wonderful, thank you. Anybody else come up with a different outcome, a different solution, Emil? She's pointing at you, so that's automatically.
Well, there's a couple ways to approach this, and if you take the high road, you're responsible for your actions. And our work tells us our thoughts produce our reality. And one of the sisters was playing the blame game. It's always somebody else's fault. We're not humble, and we're really not accountable for our actions. So basically, when you have those traits, and what shows up in your life is chaos. Everything can be chaotic. From whatever, as soon as you wake up until you go to bed, everything it could be drama. So it's an ongoing dialogue. And how do you solve it? Look within. The answers are always within.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I'm kind of running. Okay.
The heart always speaks the language of love.
Wonderful. So listen, I think Clara could have driven her sister to Vegas, which is like 30 minutes away or something like that, and got her on a bus or a plane, and she could have gone to her meeting, and Clara could have gone to her meeting. Like 5 minutes of dialogue, we probably could have figured something out. You know, there's a much bigger reason for learning to be love and peace and harmony in our homes. Because without doing that, how can we be peace, love, and harmony in our world? If we can't figure it out at home, how are we going to handle the much larger, more complicated issues that are going on in the world today? In preparing for this talk, the universe delivered something to me in a way, and I knew that it was something that I needed to show today. And this is someone for whom I have great admiration. And he offers a suggestion for how to handle the issues of life.
I believe that us honoring our flag and our anthem is part of what binds us together as a nation. And I think that for me, for my family, for those who work in the White House, we recognize what it means to us, but also what it means to the men and women who are fighting on our behalf. But I'm also always trying to remind folks that part of what makes this country special is that we respect people's rights to have a different opinion and to make different decisions about how they want to express their concerns. And the test of our fidelity to our Constitution, to freedom of speech, to our Bill of Rights, is not when it's easy, but when it's hard. We fight sometimes so that people can do things that we disagree with. But that's what freedom means in this country. And so, my hope would be that as this debate surfaces, we're always reminding ourselves that in a democracy like ours, there are going to be a lot of folks who do stuff that we just don't agree with. But as long as they're doing it within the law, then we can voice our opinion objecting to it, but it's also their right. And I think that it's also important for us to recognize that sometimes out of these controversies, we start getting into a conversation, and I want everybody to listen to each other. So I want Mr. Kaepernick and others who are on a knee, I want them to listen to the pain that may cause somebody who, for example, had a spouse or a child who was killed in combat, and why it hurts them to see somebody not standing. But I also want people to think about the pain that he may be expressing about somebody who's lost a loved one that they think was unfairly shot. And one of the things I always say about American democracy is it can be frustrating, but it's the best system we got. And the only way that we make it work is to see each other, listen to each other, try to be respectful of each other, not just go into separate corners. And I do hope that anybody who is trying to express any political view of any sort understands that they do so under the blanket of protection of our men and women in uniform, and that appreciation of that sacrifice is never lost.
I like what this wise man said. The only way that we make it work is to see each other, to listen to each other. Try to be respectful of each other and not just go into separate corners. I recently took Tina and Kitty's class based on the book, The Untethered Soul. And they actually performed that little skit in class, and I thought it was just delightful. Classes are fun. There's classes next week. Look, I'm stern. You need to sign up for classes for next week. And you always say, why? Dancing with the Stars, AGT, DVD, DVR. You will read things you've never read before. You will do internal exercises. You will do homework. You will discover things about you never knew. Or let me rephrase that. You will rediscover the things that you knew when you came here, but you forgot. You will put new tools to handle your life in your toolbox. And you will change your thinking, and you will change your life. And I'm proof. The fact that I am standing here on a Sunday doing this compared to where I was 10 years ago. One of the powerful things that I learned from Tina and Kitty's class is this. It takes a tremendous amount of energy for a pendulum to swing. It takes a tremendous amount of energy for a pendulum to swing to the extremes. And what we learned in class is when a pendulum slows down, when it centers itself and it becomes still, it is at peace. And there is no energy wasted in this peace. And what we learned in class is we are like pendulums. And our tendency is to swing. Our tendency is to swing to extreme. We turn the news on and we swing into fear. And so says something we don't agree with and we swing into anger. We see something and it triggers something in us, some emotion, some memory, and we swing into judgment, and we swing into anger and frustration, and we spend all our day swinging. Emotion from emotion from emotion. We spend all of our energy swinging. But what we learned in class, that doesn't have to be so. You see, as we swing, all of our energy is gone. See, we have to remember that when we are swinging into extremes, it not only zaps our energy, but we have to remember that the thoughts, the ideas, the feelings, the energy of the extremes are being used by the law to create our physical world. But just like the pendulum, when we learn to slow down, we begin to center ourselves and we become still. We can become peace. And there is no energy wasted. The great ones tell us that it is here, that it is in peace, that we are unblocked, that we are in the flow of Source. The great ones tell us that actually we find our power in our peace. The great ones tell us that when we are at peace, we co-create with the universe more effectively. And it's twofold. Because not only do we build a better life, we create and manifest a better life, but when we're not reacting, and we're not swinging from emotion to emotion, and we come from our center, we come from our peace, and we can do what President Obama suggests. We can see each other. We can listen to each other. And I like the way he said this, and we can feel each other's pain. And when we come from this place of peace, when we come from our center, we can do what Jesus told the young man. We got to follow the rules, the universal rules. We can do what we're supposed to do. Be first to show tolerance and kindness and compassion and forgiveness. That is the only way that we stay unified. When we can look and see and feel and discuss, therein lies the possibility to stay as family. And by the way, there should never be any question about how I feel about this country or this flag, because I speak about it every Sunday. But what I am saying is that what we've done in the past don't work. What we're doing now don't work. The New York Times recently reported, just in wars alone, and I quote, of the past 3,400 years, humans have been entirely at peace for only 268 of them, or just 8% of recorded history. How many people have died in war? At least 108 million people were killed in wars in the 20th century alone, 1901 through 1999. 100 years, 108 million people have died. And then it goes on, and they look at all this empirical data and this, the data that's available, and they say that the estimates for the total number killed in wars throughout all of human history range from 150 million to possibly 1 billion. Is that what we want for this next century?
No.
How do we want to contribute to the next century? It's time to do something different if we want something different. And what I have realized is the beauty of life, the beauty of being a powerful, creating being, is that we can change that pattern. We can change the world. We belong to each other. And so, will you join me this week in contributing in a different way? Would you join me in creating the most amazing century humankind has ever experienced? So, grab your pendulums and let's do this. Namaste. So, I think it's Jacob. Jacob, you know, with that hair and the way you schmooze this place, you're either going to be a politician or a pastor. We'll see. So let us take a deep collective breath. And in the sharing of the same air, it reminds me that I belong to the One. Each and every person here belongs to the One. And that means that this group is a family. So in that knowingness of belonging to each other, I just give thanks. I give thanks for the extraordinary gift of being alive. I give thanks for the extraordinary gift of this teaching, and I give thanks for the extraordinary gift of my family, my earthly family, that is made up of each person in this room and in this community and in this nation and in this world. I celebrate that I am not alone. I celebrate that everyone is different. And I celebrate that I have the power to be peace and love and harmony. And so I give thanks knowing that each person moves out into the world today. Each person is safe. Each person is guided. Each person is protected. Each person is provided for. And what I know is that each person here has the most amazing week yet. Because each person from this point forward is contributing differently and creating the most amazing century ever. I give thanks for the possibility and give thanks for the knowingness that it is done. And so I release my words now into the perfect workings of the law. I know that my word does not return unto me void, but is now already done. I've done my work, and now I let God do what it does best. I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it is. Now sing.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.
I've never seen her before. Oh yeah, that's